Can you start by describing the steps leading to your MS diagnosis?
My wife was the main person to understand that something was wrong with me. We'd been together since college, 16 years at the time, and now 20. And so, she knows when something's off. She's like, you're not holding me the same when we walk down the street. There's something's off with you. I don't know what it is. And that's how we started going ping-ponging back and forth between various doctors over the course of 6 months to a year to eventually have an ER doctor do a sort of assessment of me and say, get an MRI. I don't know what's wrong with you. And that MRI was like, oh yeah, bro, you're totally healthy, but you totally have multiple sclerosis. Get a neurologist and get that checked out.
So how long was that process for you overall, from your wife's insightful observations to that diagnosis?
About 6.5 months, 6.5, 7 months. It's a lot shorter than a lot of other people's, but even longer than most. But a half a year was once it took us to go doctor to doctor and just figure out what the heck was wrong with me.
What was that like for you during that time of uncertainty?
Terrible. No, I say that in a way to just be silly. However, I know something is off, but I just can't tell what. And usually, I've lived at the time 34 years. You know what's wrong. You have a cold, you break something, you know what happens to your body. But the body that you have been known to be yours and you have become familiar with it, it's not doing the same familiar things. And so that, it's not quite cognitive dissonance, but it's just the idea of I cannot do what I know I can do. It's messed with my identity, messed with my belief in my ability and what I could do. It's a sort of confounding thing to get straight in your head that not only is something off about you, something is deeply off, and you need to figure out what it is, not now, but right now.
So did you feel at the time or in retrospect that being an African-American man affected that diagnostic process at all?
I'm not too sure. I guess you would have to ask my doctors. I do know that there's, it's part of the culture. There's a wariness of medical professionals for various really good, well-documented reasons for over hundreds of years. However, I am the type of person that needs results, that needs answers now. And I will go through whatever to get them. So the so-called history was unimportant to me. I know that I was going to get answers and facts. And the only way I was going to do that was if I went after them. And went after them strong and confidently. And thankfully, those answers came back. I didn't like the answers, but they came back to me.
Did being African-American in any way impact the choices you made about where to go get your healthcare for your diagnosis?
Not so much where I would get my diagnosis, but I certainly made sure that I had more than one opinion on my team, more than one eye looking at what was off with me, because one person's assessment is one person's assessment, one person's opinion. This is a large country with a lot, and I live in Los Angeles. It's a large city. So if one person said one thing, I'm going to go somewhere else to see if they say the same thing. And if they say something similar, great. If they say something dissimilar, I'm going to work to find the middle.
Great. That's a really good strategy. So since that time, over the last 4 years, since your diagnosis, what kind of response have you had from others in the African-American community to your diagnosis?
I think that because I'm so public and so forward with my condition, other folks in the community they commend me for that because a lot of times folk just walk around with their malady and they hold it, they keep it to themselves. Sometimes family members don't even know what's going on. And I'm the type of person that is showing other people how to live out loud, how to be forward about their condition and their diagnosis without sort of being like, whoa, look at me, look at me. It's like, no, I'm not sure if that's a fear that you have. However, in order to be the most present that you can in this space, you need to be forthcoming about your diagnosis and the troubles that you're having and the solutions that you've found over time. And that's the only way that you are going to get the best set of wellness, is that if you are public and you share, keeping everything all to yourself, you're only going to get whatever you can make for yourself. And there's an entire world out there of people who have the same condition and who've been their future. Your future is their past. So they can help you. And you are cutting yourself off to that if you don't be more public and forthcoming about your condition.
Well, I think what's impressive about that is the way that you not only model self-advocacy, but you encourage it and teach it to everybody around you. And that's what people need to do, is self-advocate for themselves within the healthcare community and their team. So lastly, besides the fact that you are a performer and pretty awesome at it, why have you chosen to share your story with other people?
But, I'm not sure if I chose to. I think it chose me. But I say that in that way because, again, as a performer, I'm always looking for ways to put myself out there to get sort of the next job and to the next thing. And in that vein, I was doing vlogs on YouTube. And I was doing vlogs on YouTube for about a half a year, and nobody watched my vlogs. However, when I went to the infusion center one day, 5,000 people watched that vlog. And then I did other sort of vlogs and nobody watched those vlogs. And then I did another more multiple sclerosis centered, and 1,000 people watched it. So it's like, as someone who makes his living by giving the people what they want, I was like, I don't want to be the MS guy, but it looks like thousands of people want me to be the MS guy. So I turned the corner on that and started making exclusively MS content. And a couple years later and 5,000 people later, I'm sitting here talking to you. Well,
we're fortunate you are, and the whole MS community has benefited. So we thank you for sharing your story. So before we go, I want to encourage all of you out there to check out our other videos and resources at cando-ms.org, as well as on social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. We're everywhere, trying to give you the resources and information you need. And Damian, remind us again where everybody can see you.
I'm at DamianWashington.com, of course. That's where you get all your DW news. And my vlogs are on youtube.com/NoStressMS.
Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. We know you're a busy guy, and we and the MS community will learn a lot from what you have to say. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me in this space. And thank you guys for watching.